They called her blind. They called her strange. Some whispered she could see more than anyone who had eyes. Baba Vanga, the woman whose visions unsettled kings, comforted the broken, and shook generations long after her passing. And if what is unfolding now is true, then perhaps her most mysterious vision is yet to arrive. She spoke, not in riddles, but in fragments, sentences broken like glass scattered across the ground. But when the pieces are gathered, a picture forms, and it is terrifying, and it is beautiful. In her cryptic whispers, she spoke of something that would follow Oumuamua, that strange interstellar object that tumbled through our solar system in 2017. Scientists called it a rock. Others said it was a messenger. But Baba Vanga's words, if they are truly hers, hint at something more chilling. She said, "The first stone passed quickly. The second will not be seen until the heavens crack with fire." And then she paused, and she added, almost as if in pain, "It is not a stone, it is an eye, a hollow eye, watching." What did she mean? An eye in the sky, hollow, silent, invisible until late October 2025, when the heavens will flash like a sudden wound in the night. This is not a comet. This is not an asteroid. This is a vessel, a watcher, something that has been here before, hidden, waiting, circling like a predator around its prey. And yet, she insisted, it is not here to destroy. It is here to weigh us. Thousands of years, she said, they have observed, patient, cold, silent, watching how humanity builds and how humanity breaks, watching how we cling to metal and blood rather than mercy and grace. And her warning was this: if man chooses mercy over metal, the eye shall open, and the gift will be given. If man chooses metal over mercy, the eye will close, and the world will be left to its own decay. Pause for a moment. Let those words sink in. Mercy over metal. What could she have meant? Metal, our machines, our weapons, our endless obsession with domination and industry, the skyscrapers that pierce the clouds, the bombs buried in silos, the satellites circling above, each one an eye of its own, though none as hollow, none as ancient, none as heavy as the one she saw. And mercy? Mercy is the opposite path, a choice to heal rather than to harm, to share rather than to take, to forgive rather than to dominate. It sounds almost impossible in our age, doesn't it? Because the world right now feels like it is sliding deeper into the worship of metal. Wars raging, industry tearing the skin of the earth apart, technology expanding, but hearts shrinking. And yet, Baba Vanga's words hold a strange hope. Because she did not say the watchers had already decided. She said they were waiting, they were watching, they were weighing, and that the choice is still ours. Think back to Oumuamua, that cigar-shaped object. Scientists couldn't agree what it was. Too fast, too light, too strange, not behaving like any rock we've seen. Some dared to whisper it could be artificial. But imagine this. Oumuamua was only the first. A test, a probe, a stone that passed quickly. And the second? The second is different. The second is alive in a way we don't understand. The second is the hollow eye. Hidden now, invisible now, but revealed in late October 2025, when the heavens themselves will split open with fire. Could it be a solar flare? Could it be some cosmic event that uncovers what has been cloaked? We don't know, but Baba Vanga's warning is clear. This eye is not random. It is intentional. It has been watching us for thousands of years. Some might laugh at this, dismiss it as superstition, but pause and consider every ancient culture has spoken of watchers. The Sumerians spoke of beings who came from the sky, who measured, who recorded, who taught, and who judged. The Bible itself warns of watchers, angels who left their place and observed mankind with both sorrow and judgment. The Hopi spoke of sky beings whose return would mark the beginning of purification. And here, in the words of a blind Bulgarian woman, we hear the echo of that same ancient warning. An eye in the sky, a hollow eye, waiting for our choice. And the choice is not hidden in governments or secret labs. The choice is within each of us. Mercy or metal. Which do we choose? Because she said, if mercy is chosen, the eye will open. And what comes from that opening will be beyond comprehension. A gift. She called it a gift. Advanced knowledge not for war, not for conquest, not for greed, but for healing the planet. Imagine that, a civilization that has watched us for thousands of years, holding back a treasure of wisdom, energy, healing, a way to reverse the decay we have caused. But only if we prove we are ready, only if mercy is greater than metal. And if we fail, if we cling to our weapons, our greed, our endless hunger for power, then the hollow eye will close, silent once more, vanishing into the darkness, and earth will be left alone, rotting in its own corruption, abandoned, judged unworthy. This is the knife's edge Baba Vanga spoke of, and it is not a prophecy of inevitability. It is a prophecy of choice. She saw not one future, but two. One where humanity rises in humility and receives a gift that could heal. Another where humanity sinks in pride and is left to its own ruin. And what chills me most is her timing. Late October 2025. Why then? Why that moment? Astronomers are already warning that strange solar activity is expected in 2025. A solar maximum, flares that could strike Earth, a sky that could truly flash with fire. And perhaps in that flash, what has been hidden will be revealed. The hollow eye. But here is the haunting part. What if it is already here? What if it is cloaked, unseen, hovering at the edge of our awareness, watching, recording, waiting? And what if the sky flash of October is not its arrival, but its unveiling? For thousands of years, it has watched, from the deep sky, from the shadows of space, and soon it will show itself, not with trumpet blasts, not with armies descending, but with silence, with an eye, a hollow gaze that sees everything and judges without words. And humanity will stand before it, naked in our choices. What will it see? Cities choking with smoke, oceans poisoned, forests burning, children crying in the ruins of wars fought for pride and metal? Or will it see hands reaching out in mercy, people rising to heal, to love, to protect, to forgive? That is the question. That is the test. That is the prophecy. And here is the truth, whether you believe in Baba Vanga or not. Whether you see her as a mystic or a fraud, her words strike at something undeniable. The world is at a tipping point. The path of metal leads to decay. The path of mercy leads to life. And soon, something greater than us may force us to face that choice. She called it the hollow eye, a silent eye in the sky, waiting, watching, weighing. And in late October 2025, we may see it. But what happens next depends on us. Because in the end, prophecy is not just prediction. It is a mirror, and this mirror, held in the blackness of space, is about to reflect who we really are. If you're finding this prophecy as fascinating and unsettling as I am, consider showing support with a super thanks. It helps keep these deep dives alive, and it means a lot. Now, let's continue, because what comes next in Baba Vanga's warning is even more chilling. The silence of the sky has always hidden secrets. We look up, we chart the stars, we measure their light, but rarely do we ask, who might be measuring us? Baba Vanga's vision paints a disturbing picture. This hollow eye, circling, patient, and ancient, is not just a machine, not just an artifact drifting in darkness. It has intent, it has awareness, and in its silence, it speaks louder than thunder. For thousands of years, humanity has wondered about watchers, legends of angels who recorded human deeds, gods who weighed the hearts of kings, sky beings who returned at appointed times to deliver judgment or gifts. What if all these stories are fragments of one truth? What if the watchers have been here all along, there I hidden in the night, waiting for this exact moment? Late October 2025. She described the heavens splitting, a sudden flash, as though the veil between worlds is torn for an instant, and what was invisible becomes undeniable. We are not talking about lights in the sky, not little crafts darting about. This is not another UFO sighting. This is something greater, a singular eye, a hollow eye, a presence. What chills me most is her description, hollow. Why hollow? A hollow eye is not an eye that sees like ours. It is empty, endless, like a vessel or a chamber. Perhaps it is a mirror. Perhaps it is both an observer and a reflector, showing us the emptiness within ourselves. And isn't that the test? When you strip away the pride, the cities, the monuments of metal, what remains inside humanity? Mercy or emptiness? Vanga's words cut through time like a knife. She warned that if we choose mercy over metal, the eye will open. Let's imagine, for a moment, that we make that choice, that humanity, against all odds, bends toward mercy. What might it mean for the eye to open? She described a second gift. The first was the eye itself, its silent watching. But the second would be given only if we prove ready. A gift of advanced knowledge, not the kind of knowledge we usually hunger for. How to build stronger weapons, faster machines, colder metal. No, knowledge for healing. Knowledge to mend the wounds of our planet. Energy that does not devour. Medicine that does not poison. Harmony instead of conquest. Could it be that this knowledge has always been withheld, waiting for humanity to mature, waiting for the moment when mercy outweighs our obsession with metal? Think about it. Every step we've taken with technology has been double-edged. Fire gave us warmth and war. Electricity gave us light and death. The atom gave us power and the shadow of extinction. But perhaps there exists a level of knowledge beyond this. Knowledge that cannot be entrusted to a civilization addicted to metal. Knowledge that requires mercy to be its foundation. And if we choose wrong, if mercy is ignored and metal is worshipped, then, as Baba Vanga warned, the eye will close, silent again, vanishing into the black. And with it, the second gift. We will be left with nothing but ourselves. Our greed, our wars, our poisons, our crumbling towers, and the earth, tired of bearing us, will decay under the weight of our arrogance. The watchers will simply leave us to rot. This is a heavy thought, but it is also a chance. Prophecy is not just doom, it is warning. It is a call to turn. And if this hollow eye truly reveals itself in October 2025, it will not be simply as a sign of destruction. It will be a mirror. It will hold up to us the truth of who we are. Will we look into it with fear, or will we look into it with humility? Let's pause and reflect on the timing again. Late October. Why that month? Why that year? Scientists are already watching 2025 carefully. Solar storms are expected. The sun, entering its maximum phase, could hurl massive flares toward Earth, a sky lit up in fire. And what if, in that moment, cloaked technology, or something beyond technology is revealed? The hollow eye, waiting all along, suddenly visible. It could be in orbit around our sun. It could be stationed beyond our reach, hidden in shadow, and for a brief instant, the curtain may lift. Imagine the world's reaction. Nations scrambling, telescopes turned upward, governments silenced, people crying out in fear, in hope, in disbelief. And then the question, what does it want? That is where Baba Vanga's words pierce like an arrow. It does not want war. It does not want conquest. It does not even want worship. It wants to weigh us. Thousands of years of observation have led to this test. And now humanity must answer. Metal or mercy. Every choice, from the smallest to the greatest, suddenly matters. The way we treat each other, the way we treat the earth, the way we handle power, the way we handle pain. Because the watchers are not fooled by speeches. They are not swayed by parades or promises. They see the truth. They see the heart. And what do they see now? A world boiling in conflict. Nations armed to the teeth. Machines rising faster than morals. Greed dressed as progress. But they also see small lights. They see mercy, though hidden. They see kindness, though fragile. They see humans still capable of turning away from destruction. And that is the hope Baba Vanga left. The choice is not locked. The eye has not yet closed. The future is not yet sealed. The watchers wait. And you and I, in the quiet moments of our lives, may have more influence than we realize. Because mercy is not just a political act. Mercy is daily. Mercy is human. Mercy is the mother who forgives, the stranger who gives, the neighbor who heals, the leader who chooses peace instead of pride. Perhaps this is what they are waiting for. Not perfection, not utopia, but a tipping point of mercy, enough to show we are ready. And here is the deeper mystery. Why call it an eye? An eye is not just a tool for seeing. An eye is also a window, a connection, a channel. Could it be that this hollow eye is not only observing, but preparing to open a channel between us and them? A channel of knowledge, a channel of understanding. And that channel will only open if mercy is chosen. It almost feels biblical, doesn't it? When ancient scripture spoke of the eyes of the Lord roaming to and fro across the earth, weighing the hearts of men, when prophets warned that the scales of heaven were measuring nations. Could Baba Vanga's words be an echo of that same eternal truth, that heaven's eyes are watching, that we are being weighed, and soon the scales will tip? What will be revealed when the heavens flash this October? Perhaps the hollow eye itself, perhaps the truth of our condition, perhaps both. And then the second gift, if mercy is chosen. Can you imagine it? Energy that does not consume, medicine that does not fail, a wisdom that unites rather than divides, a knowledge that heals instead of destroys. It sounds almost impossible, almost like a dream, but maybe that is because we have lived too long under the rule of metal. Maybe mercy is the only key to open a knowledge greater than our own. But here is the sobering side. If mercy is ignored, if we continue down the path of metal, then the eye will close. And what then? Decay. The earth, stripped, poisoned, tired, left to collapse. Humanity, trapped in its own devices, falling into silence not with fire, but with slow rot. The watchers will turn away, not with wrath, but with abandonment, the way a teacher closes the book on a student who refuses to learn. This, too, is a kind of judgment, and it is perhaps the worst kind, because it means no rescue, no second chance, only ourselves and the ruin we create. That is why her warning matters. That is why the timing matters. Because if October 2025 truly reveals the hollow eye, then the countdown has begun. And we must choose mercy or metal. That choice echoes through every act, every nation, every heart. The hollow eye does not blink. It waits. It weighs. And soon it will open or it will close. Which way it turns depends on us. The silence before revelation is always the heaviest, like the breath before thunder, like the pause before the blade falls. Baba Vanga's words about the hollow eye are not just about a moment in the sky, they are about a moment in the soul of humanity. And maybe that's why her prophecy has such weight, because it doesn't matter if you believe in stars, or in science, or in spirits, the truth she spoke cuts across them all. We are being watched, and what's being measured is not our machines, not our wealth, not our empires. It is our mercy. Think about that for a moment. In a world where everything is measured in numbers, GDP, weapons, followers, technology, here is a voice saying, none of that matters. What is being weighed is mercy. Mercy is invisible to the eye of the market. Mercy is invisible to the satellites. But to the watchers, mercy is everything. Because mercy is what separates life from death, humanity from emptiness, a future from a void. And here's the haunting part. This is not the first time humanity has stood before the watchers. History is full of whispers of contact, ancient myths that describe beings descending, teaching, guiding, and then withdrawing. Some say they left gifts, mathematics, astronomy, agriculture. Some say they left warnings. Some say they left judgment. But what if all those stories are fragments of a single truth, a cycle of encounters, a pattern? Humanity rises, the watchers test, humanity fails, the watchers retreat. And now, in our age of metal, we face the cycle again. But this time, there may be no retreat, because the earth itself is groaning, the oceans are poisoned, the forests are collapsing, the ice is breaking, the very systems that sustain life are unraveling. And Baba Vanga's prophecy suggests this may be the final test, not another rehearsal, not another lesson, the last. The hollow eye, revealed in October 2025, will decide. Will it open? Will it close? That decision depends not on them, but on us. Pause here. Let's make it personal. When she said, choose mercy over metal, she was not only speaking to nations, she was speaking to you, to me, to every human heart. Because what good is it if leaders talk of peace, but individuals cling to hatred? What good is it if we dream of healing the earth, but poison each other with cruelty? Mercy is not a government program. It is a way of living. And maybe, just maybe, the watchers are waiting not for presidents, not for armies, but for enough human souls to tip the scale. What if mercy spreads like fire? What if forgiveness breaks chains? What if kindness becomes contagious? Could that be enough to open the hollow eye? Could that be enough to unlock the second gift? Imagine, if for a moment, the sky splitting in October, a flash across the heavens, the cloaking veil torn, and suddenly there it is, the hollow eye. Dark, silent, yet alive with a strange gravity. The world would gasp, fear would ripple, questions would pour out like water from a broken dam. And then the waiting. Not an invasion, not a broadcast, just silence. And in that silence, humanity will feel something deeper than fear, a sense of being seen. Every act of cruelty, every act of mercy, every wound, every healing, all of it weighed. It will not matter who holds the weapons. It will not matter who has the money. The hollow eye does not care about metal. It cares about mercy. And that, my friend, is a terrifying thought, because metal is easy. Mercy is hard. Metal can be forged in fire. Mercy must be forged in the heart. And hearts are stubborn. Hearts are proud. Hearts are slow to turn. But they can turn. They can change. And that is why prophecy exists, not to paralyze, but to awaken. Baba Vanga was blind, but she saw clearer than most. She saw a future balanced on the edge of a knife, and she left us with the choice. The watchers are not coming with destruction. They are not coming with salvation. They are coming with a test. And here is the question each of us must face. When the hollow eye gazes down, what will it see in me? That is the question I cannot shake. Not what will it see in nations, not what will it see in governments, but what will it see in me? Will it see someone who clung to mental anger, greed, pride, cruelty? Or will it see someone who chose mercy, kindness, forgiveness, love, sacrifice? Because maybe the scale is not weighed by nations, but by souls. Maybe the hollow eye opens when enough hearts tilt toward mercy. And if it opens, the gift comes. A knowledge we cannot even imagine, a wisdom that could heal the earth. It could be energy, endless and clean. It could be medicine that cures what we thought incurable. It could be harmony with nature itself, a blueprint to restore balance. But only if we are ready, only if we are willing to put down the weapons and raise up the mercy. Otherwise, the gift is withheld. The eye closes, the silence returns, and the earth decays. Can you feel the urgency of that? Can you feel the weight of October drawing near? This is not just another prophecy to entertain us. This is a warning with teeth. This is a mirror held up to our time. Because right now, the world is boiling with metal, war drums beating, weapons stockpiled, machines advancing faster than our morality. But in the shadows, mercy still flickers. Mothers still cradle children. Friends still forgive. Strangers still give without being asked. And maybe that flicker is enough. Maybe it is all the watchers are waiting for, a sign that humanity is not yet lost. The hollow eye is silent, but silence is not absence. Silence is waiting. And waiting is the hardest judgment of all. When October comes, and the sky splits, and the heavens flash, what will be revealed is not only the eye, what will be revealed is us. The prophecy is not about them. It is about us. We are the ones on trial. And this trial is not judged in courtrooms. It is judged in every act of mercy, every choice to heal instead of harm. So here is the truth that burns. The hollow eye may appear only once, and once it vanishes, it will not return. The second gift will not be offered again. This is the hour. This is the choice. Mercy or metal. We stand at the edge of revelation, and the silent eye waits, not with anger, not with pity, but with the gaze that sees beyond masks, beyond excuses, beyond lies. It sees who we are, and soon the world will see it too. So when the heavens flash, when the sky is torn, when the hollow eye is revealed, let it find mercy in you. Because that mercy may be the spark that tips the scale. That mercy may be the reason the eye opens. And if it opens, a gift beyond measure will descend. A healing not just for bodies, but for the earth itself. But if it closes, if mercy fails, then the silence will swallow us. And earth will be left to its own decay. The choice is ours. The watchers will not force it. Baba Vanga's prophecy is not fate, it is a question. And the answer will not be written in the stars. It will be written in us. So remember her words. The first stone passed quickly. The second will not be seen until the heavens crack with fire. It is not a stone. It is an eye, a hollow eye, watching. And remember her warning. If man chooses mercy over metal, the eye shall open, and the gift will be given. If man chooses metal over mercy, the eye will close, and the world will be left to its own decay. The clock is ticking. October is coming. The heavens will flash. The hollow eye will be revealed. And in that moment, the universe itself will lean close and whisper, "Choose. Choose wisely, because there will not be another chance. The silent eye is waiting, and it is waiting for you."